Hi there, my name is Katie. Welcome to my channel, Chords Records. Today is interesting. I am showing you some albums that I've recently purchased, but there ended up being a theme and I didn't even know it until I was doing this video. So I'll put those albums at the end and you'll probably be a bit surprised about my taste. So I've probably purchased, I don't know how many I purchased, maybe 2 or 3 albums a week. So I've selected maybe 8 from, really recent purchases. I hope you find this interesting. I'll go through them quite quickly and I'll let you know whether I recommend them or not. Anyone out there have recommendations for me? I'd appreciate it. That'd be great. Okay, so you might have seen in a recent video of mine, I was talking about Fine Young Cannibals, and they only ever did 2 albums, and it turned out I didn't have the first one. So I quickly rectified that. I found this beautiful copy of the first album, including Johnny Come Home, Suspicious Minds, that fantastic Elvis cover, Couldn't Ask for More, Blue, brilliant first song on the first song on side 2. So I rectified that. I now have both Fine Young and Cannibal albums. This was in beautiful condition. It's on the London label. And so that was my first one. Oh gosh, and it plays beautifully. Highly recommend getting those 2 albums. And because of all the John Lennon mind games shenanigans going on, the fantastic re-release, the special box sets, etc., I decided when I was in my recent record shop to pick up the Australian First Press. It was sitting there. I thought, yep, I'm going to get it. Clean, beautiful. I don't have another copy of this album. Happy to have one, at least one. And again, beautiful condition. This is on the green apple, I think. Yes. Look at how shiny that is. Beautiful condition. And oh my goodness, I tried to get it during Record Store Day, actually, the record that came out, and it sold out in my local record shop in Australia. So I was really pleased to find this, the Australian First Press. So that's another one. Okay, next one. Oh, I was so happy to get this. I'm a massive Jaco Pastorius fan, and this was one of the Weather Report albums he was on, and he co-produced it. This one is Mr. Gone. If you know it, it's classic Weather Report, fusion, jazz. Brilliant album. It's probably not their best album, but I have to say it is one of my favourites on the CBS Australian release. First press for the Australian version. Again, beautiful minty copy. Beautiful condition of the cover as well. Beautiful collage work. Happy to get that. Have listened to it a few times now, and it's a really good one to get of Weather Report. I'm sure if you know Weather Report, you have this album. So the next one is thanks to Mazzy, actually. Mazzy, if you're watching this, I might give you a tag or a shout out during the video. Mazzy, over the years, has talked about this reissue series from Verve from the 80s. I think it was the 80s. Might have been the 70s, actually. Yeah, the 70s. This one was 76. And they've all got these beautiful, gorgeous paintings. And he has spoken about these as having really great sound, and they're just a really wonderful collection. Fairly easy to pick up, reasonably cheap, and a kind of a compilation style from Verve. And I got the particular series. They did a lot of Charlie Parker, and I was in my local record shop just last week, and I live in a small town in Australia, and there was this album, and I thought, I'm picking that up, and it was quite reasonable for Australian dollars. It was about $40 or $50, which would be about 30 US. I put it on, and this one is the Verve years 1948 to 1950, and it sounds brilliant. It's almost like it's never been played. Really great. So thank you, Massey, for that. I really appreciate it. I'll just quickly show the album. Again, super clean. So I'm going to look out for them, because that's a really good way for me to collect more jazz. Okay, the next album is the latest Marcus King, Mood Swings. There's been a bit of conversation about this. If you know Marcus King, he's an amazing blues guitarist and singer. I think he's based out of Nashville. And this is a slight departure of his kind of latest, his last works, which are very bluesy and heavy on the blues guitar. This kind of moves more into blues and soul. I love this album. It still has classic Marcus King fingerprints all over it. Produced by Rick Rubin at Shangri-La. He's been diagnosed with bipolar, and before he made this album, he was ready to take his own life, which is just so tragic. And he met his future wife, and their love turned it all around. And he was really recording this album while that was all happening. It's on this very vibrant orange album. You could not get much brighter. It's almost neon. It probably doesn't show up too well in the video, but really sweet, actually. On the label, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. On the label it says, all abrupt, unaccountable change of mood. An abrupt, unaccountable change of mood. Just in small writing at the top there. And that's kind of, I guess, how it would have been described to him, his bipolar. An abrupt, unaccountable change of mood. So I really recommend this album if you're into that kind of blues, heavy blues guitar singing genre. He's just a genius. Absolutely brilliant. So that's Mood Swings by Marcus King. Okay, now for the surprise genre, which I hadn't even realised I'd kind of accidentally fallen into. Last week we went to see Lizzie McAlpine. She's a 24-year-old young woman singing, who studied at Berklee School of Music and has released an album called Older. I think it's her second or third album. She's done a few EPs, and I love her. I have been listening to her for probably about a year or more. And when I found out she was coming to Australia, I thought, yep, I'll buy the tickets. I had no idea what her audience would be like. And we rocked up, and I'm a little bit older than the target audience, that's for sure. And there were that was sold out, and there were 5,000 average age 22-year-olds singing every word. Lizzie McAlpine first came to prominence because she had a song called Ceilings that went viral on TikTok, and her career exploded. But she is a master songwriter. Her lyrics are very dark, very black humor, very funny. She turns kind of relationship songs into this very dark kind of humor. And she's recorded with the likes of Noah Kahan, Phineas, Jacob Collier. So it's highly regarded. Duetted with those people. But this is her album, her latest album called Solo. Really beautiful. Latest album called Solo. Her latest album called Older. The title track is so beautiful. And it's a genre really that could be defined as bedroom pop, which I've accidentally fallen into. I guess you could call some of Taylor Swift's more recent work would be bedroom pop. Billie Eilish could be described as bedroom pop / alt pop. And it's these female singer-songwriters who are recording very, I don't know what the technical description is, but it's very close up to the mic and almost whispering at times. And this is definitively Lizzie McAlpine's genre. And in fact, her staging on the tour, if you haven't seen her, she's in a curve where she's at the middle of the curve at the back, and then her very talented band, incredible musicians, kind of surround her in this curve, and she's got slide guitar and drums and two guitars, a bass and piano player. So really love this album. Again, I think this might be on this is on clear vinyl. Who did this? RCA and Sony Music. So that was a recent purchase, and then I realised I'd also recently purchased 2 other albums in the same genre. The Secret of Us by Gracie Abrams. Exactly the same genre, this kind of bedroom pop, sort of solo female singer, up close to the microphone, a young woman, sort of they're finding their way in the world, heartbreak, they've probably had their first love. It's all that kind of genre, but really, really talented musicians and singers. It's almost like a renaissance of the 70s, Joni Mitchell, Carole King. It's coming back. It's more women are on the top 10 than have been there for so many years, and it's just wonderful to see. So Gracie Abrams, I think she's 24, 25. This album was co-written and produced with Aaron Dresser from The National. And most of the songs have also been co-written by her roommate, a girl called Audrey Hobart, who seems to co-write all the songs with her. And I know they live together in a house, besties, kind of BFFs. And so there's songs about friendship, songs about love, but really masterfully done. And of course, Aaron Dresser, it was produced at Long Pond Studios, his studio. There's a Taylor Swift features on the song Us. She co-wrote that with Taylor Swift. It's the kind of the old crew, familiar crew that we're familiar with from Taylor Swift. So that was the second one. And then the final one of this genre that I realised I'd fallen into is an Australian artist, her debut album. She's been around for about 10 years, but this is her first solo album. Her name is Phoebe Go, and the album is called Marmalade. It's pressed on one of my favourite new labels in Australia called Impressed Records. This is a limited edition. They usually press about 100 or 200 albums only, and then they're done, one and done. They're usually numbered. They've usually got this kind of obi strip with them. And I'm finding the pressings, for the most part, really clean, quiet, really fantastic. So Phoebe Go, this album Marmalade, with her beautiful vinyl marmalade colour. Vinyl there. This album was such a surprise for me. The first time I put it on, I had no idea what to expect, because I'm part of Impress Records record club, and sometimes they'll send you a past record that they've done, and I think this was one of them. I can't quite remember, but I didn't know what I was getting. I buy a lot of blind stuff from Impress Records because I trust their taste, and so I had no idea what to expect. And I don't listen to the album on streaming before I hear it, before I get the vinyl, and I put it on, and immediately I loved it. And immediately I recognised, it's this kind of bedroom pop again. Although this woman's probably closer to her 30s, I'm not sure, but she's been around for about 10 years. It's probably a little bit, it's described as alt pop, alternative pop, but I think you could probably sort of put them all together. This new wave of young female women writing brilliantly, singing brilliantly, releasing work, and I just hope that it lasts for a long, long time. So this is an Australian artist. I recommend any overseas people watching this to please check out Impressed Records. Look at what they've got. They do a whole bunch of different genres: world music, jazz, pop, rock, folk. Check out Phoebe, stream her, buy her album, support young debut artists. I think it's so important. So that's the final one. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please like it if you have, and subscribe to my channel. And please, tell me below what you've been listening to recently, new releases. I'm very keen to learn. I've got a little blue book which I make a whole bunch of notes in, which I have been doing for years as I watch Vinyl Community. I've got lots and lots of lists, but I hope to hear from you in the comments. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.